This week in Grace's Girls Club, I have quite the accomplished woman in STEM as a guest. We're meeting with Sheila Cummings, and that name might sound familiar to you when she tells you the company she works for. So Sheila, go ahead and tell us a little bit about you, your title, and the company that you work for.
Well, thanks, Grace. I'm Sheila Cummings, President and CEO of Cummings Aerospace, a Native American woman-owned small business headquartered in Huntsville, Alabama.
Absolutely. There you go, girl. I love it. So tell us a little bit about Cummings Aerospace. What's your mission as a team?
Well, our mission as a team is to develop and deliver innovative and responsive weapon system solutions to the Department of Defense, ultimately to the warfighter, to protect the freedoms that we all enjoy every day.
Absolutely. A noble mission and an important one at that. So thank you for what you're doing for that. Walk me through your role as CEO. What role do you play specifically in that greater mission? That's quite remarkable.
Well, as a small business owner, I have the great privilege of serving in a variety of roles for the company, leading the strategic initiatives and business capture, customer relationship development, leadership of our team, and our oversight of our program execution, and then, of course, contributing to our community outreach initiatives such as STEM. So it's the best job in the world. I get to do a broad range of things for the company, and I love it.
That's wonderful to hear. I can tell just from talking to you that you love it. So let's go back to that STEM portion of the letters in STEM: science, technology, engineering, and math. Which letter or sequence of letters would you say most applies to your role?
Well, all of them really. Yeah, obviously, I'm an aerospace engineer, so a lot of the engineering work we do, I get to have a hand in, not as much of the technical execution anymore, but just oversight of that work. And then technology, I get to shape where we invest our technology dollars, align those with customers. And of course, with science and math, that's obviously critical to all aspects of the engineering work that we do. So gratefully, I get to be involved with all aspects of STEM in
You
my
abs-
day-to-day job.
you absolutely do. So walk me through the type of schooling that you went through, the type of degree you have, and how educationally you got to where you are today.
Well, I have an aerospace engineering degree, a Bachelor of Science from the University of Maryland, College Park, Maryland. I originally started my engineering program in my hometown at the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. There was a pre-engineering program there, and then that led me to the University of Maryland. It was a phenomenal experience. It's a wonderful degree, and both schools have incredible engineering competencies, and so that, of course, really was, if you will, started when I was in middle school and high school. I had really great math teachers. Fortunately, I was kind of a natural at math, and it just intrigued me. And I was lucky to have some really great math teachers that challenged me and encouraged me to push beyond my own limits. And then, of course, I had a family, brothers, sisters who, told me there was no option but to go to college. So I,
Yeah.
I heeded their wisdom and advice, and found a path that allowed me to pursue not only what I was good at, but ultimately what uh, led to a really incredible career.
And I'm so glad you touched on that. That's so important for the young folks who are going to be watching this interview. You have to choose something that you excel in, that you have strength in, but also something that gives you a whole lot of appreciation for your field, something that's exciting for you every day when you wake up. It's so neat that you get to have both of those and still continue to have it to this day.
Right, right. If you would ask me if I was, when I was in middle school, if I was going to be an aerospace engineer, I probably would have said, well, what exactly is that? And so it is important that the students find things that they are passionate about and find ways to connect them through career fields. And that is why as a company, we invest so much in STEM outreach programs, and that is just to expose students to what, engineering careers are like and the types of projects we get to work on. And whether those students ultimately become engineers or not is, ultimately going to be determined in the future. But we feel really excited and grateful for the opportunity to just expose them to what it's all about.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I feel the same way about Grace's Girls Club. Let's open up the doors. Let's tell these kids what's actually behind the curtain and what they can achieve one day. So piggybacking off of that,
Absolutely.
we talked about your degree. We talked about why you chose aerospace, but walk me through why you chose your mission in working essentially with the DoD. What was the heart behind that?
Well, right out of college, I had the opportunity to work with the Naval Research Lab on advanced technology satellites. And then after about 10 years in the role as a government civilian, I transitioned over to supporting the Missile Defense Agency on a variety of programs. And, when you get to see firsthand how you are contributing to the warfighter and the capabilities that, those products ultimately provide for the warfighter, for our national security. It just inherently fuels your passion. When you see the sacrifice that they make every day, there's hands down, it just convinces you that that's just what you got to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to take it one step further quickly. I know how busy you are, but why open up your own business in this field? I mean, very impressive, but at the same time, you throw a pin on the map in Research Park and you can work for anybody in missile defense, especially with a degree of your stature. But what was the driving force? What made you look in the mirror one day and say, no, I'm going to open up my own company and we're going to have a special mission and that's important to me? Where did that come from?
Well, I'll be honest, Grace, it really came from the Huntsville community itself.
Oh, I love
When
that.
I moved to Huntsville and had an opportunity to be exposed with the Chamber of Commerce and government customers and how supportive the entire community is on small business startups. And then, there was a time back in 2009 where there was a great deal of focus on expanding small businesses and really creating more small business utilization across DoD. It was it was just a great recipe for opportunity. And so, actually, I was standing in the elevator one day at work, and my colleague said, "Sheila, why don't you just go out and start your own?" And it just spawned this idea, and I just took it from there. And it's been an incredible journey. I wouldn't change it for the world. But again, if you had asked me in middle school if I was going to be a business owner, I'd have been like, no, what are you talking about? But sometimes life has a way of putting you on the trajectory you're supposed to be on. And so I'm very grateful for that.
Absolutely. Sheila, just in the last several minutes talking to you, you went from someone who was just told, probably going to be pretty good for you if you go to college, then chose an incredible degree, didn't even know what it was, but ended up choosing it, later in life once you did know, then working in the field, making an impact, and now owning your own company, making even more of an impact. That is a dream. That's a dream career, and that's the American dream. And it is so cool to get to talk to you today and hear about that.
Well, thank you. I'm definitely grateful to be living the American dream, and I will do everything I can to support and encourage students to pursue the same. There's a tremendous opportunity out in the world, and we're going to do our part to expose students to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, one last question for you, and then I'll let you get
Sure.
back to what I'm sure is your very, very busy day. But if you had a message to young girls or young students in general who are interested in joining the STEM workforce one day, Sheila, what would your message to them be?
Well, if I could tell them nothing, it's to believe in themselves, right? Um, to pursue whatever it is you're passionate about relentlessly.
That's so important, right? There's so many challenges, but the people who are most
Yes.
successful are not the ones who don't have the challenges. They're the ones who see them, let it excite them, find a way to overcome those challenges, and then keep moving on. I love that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, Sheila, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your expertise with us. And I appreciate you. And officially and formally, welcome to Grace's Girls Club.
Well, thank you, Grace. It's been a pleasure. Really appreciate it. And if there's everything I can ever do, please don't hesitate to reach out.